How's it going, folks? My name is Tazza. Welcome. This is some Black Ops 2 multiplayer gameplay on the map Yemen. I actually quite like this map. Just reminded myself. Don't know why I mentioned that. Anyway, as you can see from the title, today's topic, kind of thing, is about dealing with issues, and or stress, and or anything else. It's just how to deal with certain things, and the idea for this series was to talk about topics, and I've been struggling for the past couple of days to think of topics to do for or over a Black Ops 2 video, and I kept thinking, and I couldn't really think because I've really had a kind of a rough couple of days. Things aren't really going well for me at the moment, which is kind of part of this video, and I don't really know how to deal with things incredibly well, and the advice I get a lot is to talk to people about it. Talk to people about your issues, and many people have offered, to talk to me about issues, and it's really nice and all that people offer, but for me, I just don't personally find that works. The saying goes, a problem shared is a problem halved. Personally, I don't believe that that's true, because although it's nice for the person to offer, and it obviously shows that they care, and it's nice that people care and want to listen to your issues, but in my mind, the only way I see it working out is, you talk to someone, you tell people their issues, and they say, oh, it'll be okay, and they kind of motivate you and build your spirits up a little bit. And the problem I have with that is, at the end of the day, those problems still exist. It's not like you talk to someone about certain issues that you're having, and then they magically go away. It doesn't happen like that. It's not like it solves it. You are still going to have these issues. Just because someone has talked or has listened to you talk about what your specific issues are, it doesn't fix it. Sure, it'll make you maybe feel a bit better, because obviously you've managed to tell someone else about your issues. But personally, for me, I don't find it very fair to talk to people about your issues, because, say, for example, you just tell a friend, and that friend obviously cares enough about you to listen to what you have to say, which is obviously good of them. But at the end of the day, they're not going to fix most of your problems unless there is an issue that obviously can be answered by talking to a friend, say, or I can't think of a good enough example, but if there is an issue that can be resolved by talking to a relevant person, then you should do so. But if it's an issue that is an inside issue, such as mine, then there's nothing a friend can really do about it. So yeah, that's kind of my standpoint. I don't see the point, because if you do go ahead and tell a friend, then they can't really solve the problem for you, and you may also make them down or feel guilty, or just knowing that a friend is sad. If I make a friend of mine sad, then I'm not going to feel good about that. And if you make someone feel sad, then obviously you're going to treat them differently. You're going to be a lot more sensitive towards them, and really the last thing people want is change. When they're trying to deal with things, or the intention was to bottle things up and then they talk about it, you don't kind of seem to be I'm struggling to think of the words, because this is like off the cuff, as most of my commentaries are, but essentially you're just going to make that other person potentially sad, because they're going to treat you differently knowing that you're sad. They're obviously going to want to sympathise with you, and it's going to change that person's attitude and change them a little bit. And you may also make them sad if it's something relevant to them. So I've never seen the point, because I don't like to upset other people with issues that should be mine and something I should deal with. So the idea of today's commentary is just to ask you guys, how do you deal with issues? How do you deal with stress or issues, or what is it that you do? Because as I say, I need to find something alternative as to what I currently do, which is just kind of bottle it up and not let it eat me away, because I deal with the issues as much as possible. But I just don't feel the need to share my issues, but people say it works. So I just wanted your guys' opinions on what you actually do. My current issues really are kind of like, at the moment, work is really stressful, or what I have of it, because where I work at the moment, I'm just not getting any shifts or hours, so I'm kind of have like no money coming in, essentially, like not enough to pay for the things I have to pay for, rent and such. So that's one thing that's really stressing me out, as well as like my granddad's health. My granddad is not too well at the moment, and I don't really want to go into that because it's quite a sad subject for me. So, yeah, and then other people's health. Another person in my life that I'm not going to go into too much detail about that as well. So, 2 people in my life are ill, and also I don't have any money. Those are quite big issues, really. So they've had me stressed out for a couple of days, and I just want to know how I can get around that, in your guys' opinions, rather than sharing my issues with other people and risk getting them sad as well. So yeah, I know you guys are really good with feedback and talking to me, and if I ever have questions or need advice, you guys are like first for the advice. Like, I know, I can tell, like, you folks, you're always so good, and I always appreciate that. So any advice on this would be, you know, just really good. So thank you in advance if you have any tips on how I can kind of deal with my current issues. On a side note, helping or dealing with issues, as I said earlier, is just to, you know, get out there and actually deal with them, do something about it, speak to people who are relevant to it, and get the things that are eating you up sorted. So on a side note, and as I'm sure as a lot of you know, if you are subscribed to Dunbar Snack Bar, and I know a lot of you are because you found me through him. But me and Jeff, or Dunbar Snack Bar, as you all know him, we were talking I can't remember what day it was now. We were just chatting on Skype, and we decided that we're both kind of, or Jeff more so than me, is in a really good position in YouTube in terms of subscribers and you know, his position in YouTube in general. And obviously I have a great fan base as well, not as large as Dunbar Snack Bars, but still a great fan base. And we decided that between us we can actually, you know, kind of deal with certain issues, and the issue that we kind of came up with is the idea of kind of poverty and people less fortunate than ourselves is probably the best way of putting it, because Jeff went to get a glass of water, and he's got a new fancy fridge, and he found it so easy just to get a glass of water, and it made him think that obviously there's people less fortunate than himself who can't get water at all. And then we remembered, or Jeff remembered, water.org, a charity that obviously brings water to the less fortunate, people who don't have access to it, which is obviously a fantastic cause. And we decided that between us that we were going to do a charity live stream. I'd suggested one a long time ago, but we never really had a cause, or we didn't really know at the time that we were capable of doing such a live stream. So yeah, like I said, suggested it, and then Jeff said, you know what, I think we should. So we will be doing a charity live stream. Now, we haven't ironed out all the details yet, and I'm sure you will have heard this on Dunbar's channel if you are subscribed to it. But we are yet to iron out the details, but so far the idea is to have it on June the 1st going into the 2nd of June. And it might be a 12-hour live stream, it might be a 24-hour live stream. We're not too sure yet. And the idea is just to live stream for as long as possible whilst advertising water.org and you know, promoting water.org. So we'd love you to join us for that if possible. And if not, that's fine, but any donations to water.org would be fantastic, and we'd love to see you in the live stream. You will be getting more details about it later on. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you later.